A D.C. police commander is under investigation for allegedly making changes to crime statistics in his district. Tonight, the police department
So everything you've heard the last few days about people, the statistics say it's down by 30%. Well, who was it? Mark Twain told you about statistics and how they lie. Well, you can make statistics look any way you want. Please, I won't get into how they've made the statistics for a certain quarterback down here for the Miami Dolphins make it look like he's doing a good job. I can make anything look the way I want if I shape the statistics a certain way. See, one of the things that people don't talk about in the media is that when they do the statistics on the crime, they don't count the juveniles. Did you know that? They don't count the crimes that the juveniles commit, which are most of the gangbangers. So if it goes down 30%, it's because you're not counting all the crimes. And not one honest media came up with it. I had to dig and find this. I'm like, anything about the statistics, anything about the numbers, anybody jiving this stuff? Oh, here's a story from a local news outlet.
Firm's Michael Pium was placed on paid administrative leave in mid-May, a move that came just a week after Pium filed an equal opportunity complaint against an assistant chief. And the police union accused the department of deliberately falsifying crime data. News 4's Paul Wagner has the story tonight.
Well, hi there. The D.C. Police Union is putting its allegations on the record tonight, claiming police supervisors in the department are manipulating crime data to make it appear violent crime has fallen considerably when compared to last year. As of today, according to the D.C. Police website, crime is down 25%, a decrease the chairman of the police union calls preposterous. The union's allegations come as the former commander of the 3rd District stands accused of doing what the union says is being done day in and day out.
Now understand, they're still using the numbers on this report that was found to be invalid. They never correct it and say, well, yeah, there's a lawsuit out there right now showing that they've cooked the books. It is a blatant lie how the media talks. I had to dig to find this. And I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't seen this surface anywhere. And there's a huge problem in Washington, D.C., where people are like, hey, man, you're doing stuff to make it look different. You're cooking the books. And the media and all the DEI people are running around regurgitating it, and it's fake. Completely fake.
Areas where we know that
That's Michael Pium standing with the chief of police at a recent news conference. At the time, he was the commander of the 3rd District, which patrols the neighborhoods of Adams Morgan and Columbia Heights. In early May, 5 law enforcement sources familiar with the investigation tell News 4 Pium was placed on administrative leave with pay and told he was under investigation for questionable changes to crime data. A move that came just about a week after he filed an EEOC complaint against Executive Assistant Chief of Police Andre Wright, according to 3 law enforcement sources familiar with the complaint. The reasons for that later in this story. News 4 reached out to Commander Pium for comment. He denied the allegations against him and referred us to the public information officer. As for the union's allegations, Chairman Greg Pemberton laid it all on the table.
Also know that when our members respond to the scene of a felony offense where there is a victim reporting that a felony occurred, inevitably there will be a lieutenant or a captain that will show up on that scene and direct those members to take a report for a lesser offense. So instead of taking a report for a shooting or a stabbing or a carjacking, they will order that officer to take a report for a theft or an injured person to the hospital or a felony.
Have you guys seen this? Because this is the local television. I had to dig in all my different databases to find this. I'm like, wait a second. Wait. So they show up at the scene of the crime. I'm like, hey, man, we can't report this as a felonious act. We got to make it seem like it's just kids. They were just trying to stay. But they shot at this guy. Nobody needs to know this. Bring it down. We need to show it as being 25 or 30% less so that the media can gaslight everybody. And I'm thinking to myself, man, oh man. And because I was wondering, how could there be such a discrepancy when you hear the media talk versus hearing some of the people who live there talk? How could there be such a disconnect? Oh, it's fine over here. We're just going to redefine safety. How about we redefine it as me not getting shot at? Or how about redefine it by actually reporting the statistics and not gumming it up and cooking the books? And so people know about it, and if they know about it, they're getting silenced, they're getting suspended, don't come around here anymore, so that it could look better than it is. It's a crime against the people who live there.
Felony assault, which is not the same type of classification.
Greg Pemberton says the police department's command staff is focusing on two categories in order to get the numbers to fall. They are armed with a dangerous weapon, an injured person to the hospital.
When management officials are directing officers to take reports for felony assault, or if they're going back into police databases and changing offenses to felony assault is not a category of crime.
Wait. You hear what he just said there? They're going into the database after the police make the charge and go, no. We can't call this a felonious assault. No, this is, he broke his nail or something. There's no other term other than cooking the books. And the thing with this is that obviously, I don't know how it bled up to President Trump. Well, maybe it probably didn't, because people who live there are like, hey, I can't go out my house. And then you talk to Muriel Bowser, no, it's pretty good. We dropped 30%. And the people of the city are like, hey, you're lying. My friend just got carjacked last week. They've been lying for quite some time. There's a video out where Joe Biden, back when he was Senator Joe Biden, long time ago, when his hair wasn't even gray, and he was talking about he had friends that told him, when you pull up to a stoplight in D.C., do a rolling stop. Don't put your car at a full stop, because if you stop, the bad boys are going to come out the bushes and put a gun to your car and carjack you. Slow down while it's red and wait. When it turns green, hit it. Get out of there. And I'm thinking, as I'm watching this video, they've known this for decades. Because it was Joe Biden back in dark hair. This wasn't anything new. This has been going on for decades. How insidious are these Democrats?
Listed on the department's daily crime stats. It's also not something that's a requirement of the FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting Program. So by changing criminal offenses from, for example, ADW bat or ADW gun to felony assault, that would avoid both the MPD and the FBI from reporting that as a Part 1 or a felony offense.
Pemberton says.
How many cities in the country, now that you hear what they're doing in Washington, D.C., how many of these inner cities across the country have they been doing this at? Oh, not that bad this weekend. It's relatively safe. How many people got shot? Just about 15 out of 5 million people. It's not bad at all. When you compare it to wherever you live, it looks really, really bad. But for them, it's relatively safe. Only a few people are dead this weekend.
The union has been gathering evidence for some time now by looking at reports and talking with officers all over the city.
What we've heard through our members and through members of management that are willing to talk with the union is that this is a directive from the command staff, is that they want to make sure that these classifications of these reports are adjusted over time to make sure that the overall crime stats stay down.
So you have to ask yourself, from a political standpoint, it's already a deep blue area. They don't have any worry that a Republican's going to win the vote in the D.C. area. Nope. Muriel Bowser, Marion Barry way before her. It's always been a Democrat stronghold. So they don't have to worry that a Republican's going to win in Washington, D.C. But why is it that they don't want the people to live freely? Why do they want all this havoc? Why would you reduce the numbers to the point where you try to make it look euphemistically good or euphemistically better instead of just cleaning it up? I have a problem with that. Many of you probably have a problem with that. Why are they okay with these cities being in such a problem? I don't know. I don't know. Especially, I could understand if you're like, hey, listen, if we don't do this, we're going to have problems with the Republicans. They may take control. No Republicans taking control of Washington, D.C. in the near future. No Republicans taking control of Chicago, St. Louis, Baltimore. Not going to happen. So if there's no political motivation to keep these people or these records wrong, what is the reason you don't want to tell the truth? Because now what you have to start really thinking, the real insidious stuff is, you want these people afraid? You want them stuck in their homes? You don't care what these people are doing because it's almost like a proxy staff of yours keeping these people in line? Are you taking kickbacks from the drug sales? What is it? Because if I was the police chief in Washington, D.C., and I came in, I don't care if it's a Democrat or Republican run city, I would go in and go, hey, we got to make these people safe. I'm out in the street, and they keep coming up to me and saying, hey, chief, it's really bad out here. Can you do something? Nah, nah, go back. Go back home, whatever. No, I care about people. The reason I would have gotten into law enforcement was, and the reason I became the chief was, I wanted to help people. I wanted people to feel safe. My definition of safe. These are all the things that I think most police officers join the force for. So you get on the force in Washington, D.C., and you show up, and they're downgrading crimes to keep the criminal aspect going. There can only be a few reasons why they're doing that, and none of them are good. Are you taking cuts? Are you taking kickbacks? Are you driving drugs through and trafficking? Why? Why are you doing it? And there's too many cities for it to just be by chance. If every single one of us in the chat, and I said, all right, in the next 30 seconds, list 5 inner cities with high crime, it would light up. We all know the cities. So, ergo, our test here is if everybody knows and have known for quite some time the no-go areas in certain cities and states, if you could name them without even looking them up, then you have to ask why. Why have they allowed it to go on? You know, I'm not trying to be rhetorical, but I don't know. It has to be kickbacks. It has to get money from whatever illicit activity, whether it's prostitution, whether it's drug sales, whether it's trafficking. There has to be a reason why these inner cities are allowed to flourish with their crime. Because the only other thing you do is you'd clean it up. So if you don't clean it up, and you know it's been dirty, figuratively and literally, for decades, there's a reason why. There's a hierarchy. There's a complete, flow chart of who gets what. Because there's obviously, there's a flow there. There is money coming and going to certain people. And it's been that way for decades, and they don't dare mess it up. It's the only reason.
Last Monday, when we spoke with Pemberton, D.C. crime data shows violent crime was down 28%. Today, the department's website says violent crime is down 25% when compared to the same time last year, and overall crime is down 8%.
That's preposterous. There's absolutely no way crime could be down 28%. Last year, they suggested that it went down 34%.
And there's more to the story involving Camino.
All right, so you're hearing the actual cops are going, not a chance. Why is the media? Why are the media not going and talking to this guy? Hey! I dug up this story from a couple years ago, and I found out that the union in D.C. they feel like the police and the higher ups are cooking the books. Why do you feel this way? Well, you can ask the people who work here. You can bring out 50 cops who keep responding to the same thing over and over. But the media doesn't want you to see that. They had the opportunity. When all this started, they had the opportunity to go talk to the police officers in the area.
Pulliam. In April, his wife, Captain Rachel Pulliam, was transferred by Chief Pamela Smith from the Youth Division to Midnights in the 7th District. Subsequently, according to 3 sources familiar with the incident and the timing of it all, Executive Assistant Chief Andre Wright ordered Commander Pulliam to pack up his wife's belongings from Youth Division and move them on his own to his wife's new assignment in the 7th District. Sources familiar with the complaint say Commander Pulliam viewed the order as retaliation. 5 law enforcement sources tell News 4 about a week later, Commander Pulliam's police powers were revoked. Now, Chief...
Oh, this is getting deep. I'm pretty sure Judge Janine and Pam Bondi and Cash are digging into this. That may be why everybody's freaking out. This might be something that's going to go a lot deeper. A whole lot deeper. And I can't wait for it.
Smith declined an on-camera interview, but tells News 4 she cannot comment on an ongoing investigation. And as for the claims made by the union, Chief Smith released this statement. It says, the Metropolitan Police Department is committed to upholding the trust and the confidence of the public. Any irregularity...
Your first sentence is done. You want to uphold the trust and the confidence of the public. That's out the window. The public doesn't trust you. They definitely don't have any confidence in you.
In crime data brought to my attention will be addressed immediately. I do not condone any official reclassifying criminal offenses outside the guidelines set in the MPD policy. Any allegation of this behavior will be dealt with through our...
Why didn't he say this in public? Well, I can answer that question. He didn't write it. He don't even know what the word said, probably. Because I would have came out, if you accused me of doing that, I came out and said, no, we don't do that. We take everything seriously. Our first and top job is to make sure these people are safe. We want to have them trust us. We want to have them to have confidence in us. I don't need to write it. I could speak it. This was a cover-up of epic proportions.
Internal processes, which will ensure those members are held accountable. I have the utmost confidence in the command staff leadership currently in place across the Metropolitan Police Department. And one other note, we did reach out to Chief Andre Wright, and he declined to comment.
This one...
He declined to comment. Why? Why did the chief decline comment? You got one job. You have one job as the chief of police. Nothing else. To protect and serve. You've seen it on different cars in LA. That's to keep people safe. That's your job. And you're like, I decline to comment. Who's pulling your strings, bro? There's something going on in these inner cities. We don't know what it is. We can conjure up ideas as to what's going on, but there's definitely something going on in these inner cities. And I think Trump knows. Remember, he's from New York. None of these other politicians or who have risen to his stature really understand what goes on in the dirty parts of the city. They're politicians. President Trump was dealing with the Goombas and everybody else in New York to get permits, to get his buildings, to do all these things. He knows what it takes. And so who knows what's going on? Baltimore, I told you, it's the pastors. Trust me, it's the pastors. They run that town. Washington, I'm not sure. But there is definitely some corruption that is so big and is so well funded because it's been entrenched for decades. Not last year, not the year before that, not when Biden was there. These inner city neighborhoods have been corrupt for decades. And every single black person who's ever grew up near, in, or around these areas will tell you, number one, I'm getting out. I'm done. If I can get myself to a position where I can get out of here, I'm done. And then you get constantly attacked when people say, you forgot where you came from. And I've told you this before. I don't forget where I came from, because that's the motivation to keep me from going back.